Hey guys, this is Burly Savage here. I am looking at the Doomsday Prepping Crash Course from Patty Hayne. Hayne. I don't know how you say that name. So I got this book from my father-in-law. I guess he thought I needed it because I don't have anything. But it's pretty cool. I have to start collecting some stuff just, so I could, something were to happen, something bad. I would like to have something I could, help support my family and protect it. Something bad were to happen. But this book, it's on Amazon. You get it at your store. She has other books. And it's a lot of pages. It's, let's see what kind of pages. 160 some pages. And it's not very expensive. That's retails for $10. And I got ripped off there. Well, my father-in-law got ripped off. But, and I think you can get used for like $3-4 on Amazon. So I'll put the link at the bottom of the video. So if you're new to prepping yourself for end of days, whatever, this is a good book to get into it. I'm starting to collect some items, so backpacks, first aid kits, some knives, and some water tablets to purify, stuff like that. So I'll eventually make a video showing everything that I got, everything I looked at. But really quick, just look at this book so you can see what you're getting. Let's see. Adjust this camera. All right. So Section 1. A lot of different topics to talk over. I'm going to browse through it pretty quickly. Hopefully not make a big video out of this. So this is a big introduction about normal things, collecting water, things to think about, priorities, help thinking about your animals, saving money. So some stuff is pretty common sense, but it's just good to read through it. The whole writing is not that hard to read. It's pretty simple, so you could blow through this book pretty quickly. Basic stuff there. How to make a fire when you need it. Preparing your body to survive. Preparing to have electricity. And then Section 2, what's very interesting to me, was to build the ideal bug-out bag. There are different things that you want to put in that bag, and if you don't know what a bug-out bag is, that is a bag that something were to happen, you need to have stuff ready, so if you have to travel or survive, it's mostly everything is in that bag. It's normally for a short period of time because supplies are limited in that event. So that's about it. Section 1, Section 2 right there. Introduction, blah, blah, blah. So she does a good job writing about things about that goes on people's mind, that if you're not familiar with any of this prepping yourself, then this is pretty good read. Storing water. She talks about FEMA, a lot of things that are already out there, the information that's out there, but she kind of puts it together pretty well. Talks about saving money, 1 gallon of water per person per day, so just from recommendations. She does a lot of recommendations in this. Not everything you need to do, but it's good advice. I mean, depending on where you're at in the city or in the country, there's certain things, you just have to decide what's more important to you. But, food, water, and shelter are the top 3 things that you would really need to think about. Thinking about shopping, you could buy, I don't have a lot of money, but I have to get things as I go. I can't just order everything that we need, in a bug-out bag or in a home. I have to get stuff slowly. So looking for sales, looking at online, Amazon, see what kind of things I need. I'm slowly getting there. Bartering items, this is a good topic. I didn't think much about it, but there are certain things. Let me see if I can find it. You need to be able to barter in a Doomsday or, crap hits the fan event. You need to know that people are gonna want to trade. The dollar might not be worth anything. You will have items that be worth something. Items such as liquor, cigarettes, even chewing tobacco are three examples of items that be very high demand. And they sound like they are. I mean, if you smoke, then you're going to be looking for smokes. If there's none, you're going to look for someone who has. Liquor, well, if anything does happen, and people still want to drink. So, small things. I'm thinking of little things that I could store more easier. I mean, you don't want to store gallons and gallons of water when it's kind of hard to barter that. But I mean, some stuff is free, even reading material. There's one. It's an interesting discussion there. If you don't believe that reading material will be high demand, think about the last time you find yourself stuck in a waiting room. How did you pass the time? So that was one idea. I guess you could barter that. Another point she made is if you have cash and you want to keep cash as part of your thing, which you should, because cash is not just going to overnight. It's not going to happen to it, but you want to keep smaller bills. $100 bill is only going to get you, say you want something from someone and you only have $100 bill. Well, that's all you have to give. You can't. It might not have change to break that 100. So maybe you want to break that to smaller bills, singles. Just store, have singles on hand instead of big bills. That's a good tip that she put in that book. Buying in bulk, you do get discounts buying in bulk. She goes through basics of canning, food preservation, dehydrating. Now, a lot of these she browsed. This is a small process here of dehydrating. There is more to it than that. I mean, you could look it on YouTube, online, find articles, but a lot of this book is not very detailed and everything. It's more about, here is something you should know. This is something you might need to do, and it's up to you really to research it to get good at it, Let's see, preparing your body. So having a bug out plan in place, that's good to have. You got to have some place to go. You can't just randomly leave. Expect, you can, but I mean, it's really, you want a place to go. At least a plan in place of what to do. And the people who are not fit, there's a picture of, I guess, fit people, will have trouble traveling. So that's something to think about. Bicycles, that's going to be a hot item. Think about it. All the cars are going to, if something were to happen, people have to travel. I'm sure the freeways and highways, they're going to be packed. Having a bike will be pretty beneficial. It's mechanical. So it even talks about even having a horse, which is pretty funny. I mean, having a horse is a big deal, but think about traveling. If you don't have a bike, well, you can have a horse and they could take you longer distances and carry items for you. Actually, other way to cook your food. Yep, different ways to cook food. How to make a fire before you need it. So a lot of this stuff, you might already have an idea of it. And if you never thought about it, this book gives you just another opinion on it that you maybe need to look into. Having a multi-tool, a knife, an axe, radios, those work over long distances, and they can be inexpensive. It's a program, this is a radio, emergency radio. Well, this one, see, has a crank, so you can crank it and charge it up and use it, which is very good. Everyone should at least have one of those. So, I mean, thinking about all this stuff that you buy, a lot of it's just going to sit at home on the shelf. Or a lot might be in a bag with you when you go to work, or with someone else in your family. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. Think of this book as preparing for something, and you're paying for all these items in storage until something were to happen, you know, God forbid. But you know, we don't know what tomorrow brings, so it's worth just looking into. Keeping the lights on, the power goes out. Waste disposal. See, we don't give much thought to disposing of our garbage in the sewer. We simply haul our trash to the curb, and there it goes. So it talks about a little bit about, you know, getting rid of your poop and stuff like that and trash. And I mean, that is a big deal. I mean, once something happens, normal services we depend on every day are going to go away. So it's up to you to figure out how to live in this new environment, how to survive, how to protect your family, yourself, your loved ones, your pets. So cleanliness, that's very important. Well, yeah, because running water might stop. I mean, think about the unless you have a well. I mean, that'll help, but survive. Bug out. Stock in your bug out bag. Seal your windows and doors. So chemical warfare. You know, a lot of the dust that flies in an event of a explosion can be radioactive. It could. A lot of the dust can be harmful to your health. So, I mean, you got to think about stuff like that. And so that whole first part, section 1, just more of a crash course, if you will, like she describes it here, was about more than half the book. So this is a good chunk of information. You can get through it pretty quickly. Section 2, building the bag. So what the heck is a bag? Which is tells a definition, what is the bug out bag, or what that bugging out means, where that came from. When should you bug out? Let's see. What is a bag? Best types of bags. So, interestingly enough, I'm looking at bags right now. I'm looking at stuff from REI. I did purchase a bag. I'll review it later and tell you what I think of it. So there's lots of bags. You could have duffel bag, fanny pack, backpack, suitcase, whatever. Thinking about having bags for your children, other people in your household who, you know, think about it, because one bag fits items that might just support you or another person, not a whole family. And think about it as what things you need and how much of it you need. Items to include. The survival food bar, I mean, some of it's nasty, but you could have a little bit on hand. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? Infant supplies, very important if you have one. Sleeping bags. Emergency blankets, that's very important. If you're in an area where it has temperatures do drop, anything below 50, 60 is going to be very uncomfortable and can cause some major issues if you have to stay outside or even indoors. If electricity stops working, if your house runs on gas to heat your home and that stops, you got to think of different ways to keep warm. So again, this video is mostly, this is about this book. It's not, I'm not trying to give you advice on what to do. This is something about, just wanted to pass this information along, show you about this book. So a pretty good book, a few bucks. You could buy it used. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free, so you could read it there. So all in all, it's a pretty good book. And Patty Hayne. And here's the ISBN number. So if you have books that you read and you know of, let me know. I'd be interested to read those too. Let me know your thoughts. And is there anything, maybe a website or another YouTube channel you you like to pass on, let me know in the comments below. Thanks.